So, we are still talking about books, and this is the sixth season of this channel in which we're talking about books. If you're just popping up for the first time, this is a channel that I created to give orientation to people who lack good parenting in life, who are trying to figure out life, who are a bit lost in translation, and who lack orientation, advice, and somehow someone to show them a path or to provide them with some answers or with good questions or whatever. And in this season we are talking about books, and we started with French literature, we went through Russian literature, and today is German literature's day. So I'm going to do like I did in the previous videos. I will recommend you 5 books of German literature that I believe suit to the topic. That's very important. Please bear that in mind if you're watching a video of mine for the first time. It is not the list of the 5 best German books. It is not the list of 5 German books you must read before you die or any kind of thing like that. It is a list of books that will help you starting the journey towards yourself, the journey within, the investigation about your own self, which will help you finding out more about yourself and therefore more about what you want for life. And that can happen at any age. You can be lost at the age of 20 and you can be lost at the age of 50. It happens with the parenting that we have nowadays, or lack of parenting that we have nowadays. And I've had experience with so many people that have gone through that. People really need some advice and some orientation. So let's start. Let's go straight to business. First book I want you to have a look at is from Goethe, the super mega famous German author, one of the most famous novelists on Germany, and also poet and many more things. The man was I don't know, an old school philosopher, so to say. He was into everything. So I would like you to read Wilhelm Meister's Lehrjahre. Wilhelm Meister's apprenticeship. The name of the guy, of the main character of the book, is Wilhelm Meister. And apprenticeship, well, is the name of the book, Wilhelm Meister's apprenticeship. And then the first thing you're going to tell me is like, wow, I can't believe it. You are recommending Goethe and you're not recommending Faust. Faust is the most famous work. Faust this, Faust that. Yes, but don't forget, we're talking about a specific topic here. We are going in a specific direction, which is giving you orientation, giving you advice that will help you going through the path of life, that will help you thinking about what you want for life, who you are, how to figure things out, and so on. And Wilhelm Meister's apprenticeship will help you much more than Faust in that sense. It is what Germans call Bildungsroman, that is construction novel or formation novel. That is a novel that portrays a character and his or her process of maturing, becoming adult, becoming mature, understanding better life. And is one of the most beautiful Bildungsroman that I have ever read. And as it's a big one, it's a very complete one, with various epochs of his life, with various different things that he goes through, lessons that he learns, different people that serve as influence in his life. So I definitely believe you should read, you should have a look at this book if you are looking for some insights for your life. Too much to talk about it. We could spend hours talking about each book that I'm recommending in this season. That is not the case. I'm basically giving you a list and shortly, as short as possible, talking about the books. Second book I want to suggest you is something very obvious. Everyone who has been lost in life, who has gone through a difficult period in life, should definitely read this man. And I'm talking about Hermann Hesse. And the first book that I would like to recommend you because of course I'm going to recommend you two books. Hermann Hesse is the master of helping you in difficult moments and giving you direction in life. The first book that I want to recommend to you is Siddhartha. Siddhartha is basically a journey towards yourself. That's the best way I can describe the book. The main character, Siddhartha, goes on a journey to find himself, and of course ends up finding himself. I'm not going to tell you how, I'm not going to tell you what he goes through, because I want you to read the book, of course. But it is one of the most classic books about how to find yourself, how to go through a path in life that will take you at the end to back to yourself, that will drive you towards that will make you look introspectively, that will make you look at yourself. And Hesse is a master of doing that. He is the man in German literature that made the perfect combination between the West and the East, that managed to put into his books the wisdom of the East together with the wisdom of the West. And it's an unforgettable reading, and very, very, very transforming one. I strongly recommend you to read Hermann Hesse, and above all, this book that I'm recommending you. Next book that I want to recommend you is from a German poet, but also who wrote other things in his life, not only poetry, which is Rainer Maria Rilke. And Rilke wrote a book that is called Letters to a Young Poet. And this book is seen by many people, by the people that criticize him, as a book of vanity, where he's trying to justify himself and all the foolishness that he went through in his youth, that he's trying to portray as romantic and beautiful, all the silly things that he did in his life. But I tended to see the book with other eyes. I tended to see the book with another perspective, which I hope will be the perspective you will look not only at this book, but at other books as well, which is the perspective of trying to see the good side of the book and what you can learn from the book. Because it's very easy and it's very common in our time to just criticize. Oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And maybe the criticism has some consistency and some coherency. But we forget to search for the good things that a book can bring you. We forget to search for the positive side of it. And the positive side of this book for me is exactly that. It shows you that despite some bad decisions, despite some vanity, despite some silliness of character, despite some huge lack of maturity, you can still find your way. You can still find something that will be good for your life, that you will be passionate by, that you will love doing it, and that might be good for you, and of which you might be able to live, and so on. So I strongly recommend you to have a look at Rainer Maria Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet, Brief an eine junge Poet, because I really think it's going to help you in this way that I'm trying to present in this season with these books. Next book that I would like to recommend to you, it's a big one, so you'll have to have stomach, and on top of it, in my opinion at least, it's a very difficult one. I'm talking about Thomas Mann and the Zauberberge, the Magic Mountain. I think you should read The Magic Mountain because just like Wilhelm Meister's Apprenticeship, the Magic Mountain is a book of initiation, is a Bildungsroman, as I said before, as the Germans call. It is going to present you the adventures of Hans Castorp and his arrival at the Magic Mountain, which is a sanatory where his brother is staying because of tuberculosis. He's diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he's going to spend some time in there. I'm not going to tell you anything about the book, but it is going to be a journey that will mark him for life and that will teach him so many things that a young man should know. Good things, bad things, important things, and so on. And I'm already telling you, it's a big one, it's a difficult one, it's a difficult journey. You might need, I strongly recommend it actually, to read a second time right after you finish it. but it's a book that will teach you so much about life, so much about contexts that have influenced the exact moment we are living in, and presented in such a beautiful way with such a beautiful prose. Thomas Mann was a master of writing, and I think it will give you good orientation and will complement all the previous books that I have mentioned to you. It's going to be like a unity of 5 books that will give you a lot of content in terms of figuring out life and understanding how the world works. Last book that I want to recommend you, I said it would be a second book from Hermann Hesse. I would like you to read Damian, depending on the translation, depending on the language you're going to read it. And Damian, it is similar to a certain extent to Siddhartha. Is a book about one person, is a book about this person's adventures in life, from a young age to an older age. And I think it closes this cycle of 5 books on German literature for people who lack good parenting, for people who are trying to figure out life. Never forget that. It closes this cycle of 5 books that I'm recommending you perfectly. You are going to have 5 books that are going to give you very, very good advice, very, very good insights on life. And it will also be a great introduction to German literature, which is wide, vast, rich, has so many authors that I haven't mentioned. And if by any chance in your journey in literature and in German literature, you ever come across to Friedrich Hölderlin, Friedrich Schiller, Heinrich Heine, Novalis, and others that I haven't mentioned, you should definitely read these people. All of them are classics in my opinion. All of them wrote excellent books, be it poetry, novel, or whatever. And they have a lot of good things to tell you. They have a lot of good advice. They have a lot of wisdom within those books that will definitely help you start building your spirit and your, let's say, epistemological profile, so to say it like that, in a kind of fancy way. But that will help you building your character and maybe will help you making decisions for life and so on. There will be a couple more episodes on literature. We are going to cover a couple more cultures, and then we're going to move on with the season about books. See you in the next episode.